Hello, my friend. Hope you're doing good. One thing I want to talk about today is do not be afraid to express yourself. And what I mean with that is I've talked to a lot of people, and myself included, as in a couple of years ago, I was so afraid of expressing myself. And that means just going out with who you are in a way. So being comfortable in your own skin, being comfortable with the way you play, being comfortable with what you have to say, and literally just immunizing, what's it called? Immunite, like being immune towards the feeling of controlling what comes out of your instrument, controlling the need to play a certain way. Because usually when you play, you get this feeling of that wasn't good enough. You're rejecting yourself, and you're rejecting your process of learning. You're telling yourself, no, that's not good enough. No, that guy wouldn't like that. No, that's not good. That's not good. You're rejecting yourself all the time. And it's actually one thing I want you to do is to realize the first thing, like the best thing you can do right now is to realize that voice inside your head actually exists. There's a voice inside of you that keeps judging you, right? Can you realize that it exists? Or are you so deep inside of people pleasing that you kind of just, that voice kind of defines you? If you can see that, oh my God, yeah, I actually have a voice inside my head. I have someone that's commentating everything I do, commenting on every note I play, commenting on me not being good enough, not being worthy enough, not being where I want to be, and I should just keep practicing because I'm not where I want to be, and I hate my expression right now, and that's what's gonna make me better at guitar. I mean, there is some truth in that. I mean, when I practiced guitar a lot a couple of years ago, when I really went up early to practice, I think the drive force was that I really wanted to sound good. Like I wanted it so much. And there's nothing wrong with having a season of your life which is just, okay, I'm going to practice, I'm going to get good. My drive force is that I don't sound good right now, and then I want to sound good. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, when we practice, the reason we practice is because we want to nurture our soul with new information so we can have more freedom when we express ourselves. But the thing is, when you express yourself, when you're at the point of expressing yourself, so we're talking, maybe it's a live gig, maybe it's just sitting by yourself playing solo guitar. You're not practicing, you're expressing. When you're at that point, you shouldn't be having a voice inside of your head that's judging you. I mean, even when you're practicing, I don't think that voice should be present at all, because you're practicing the stuff you like. You're interested in the things you're doing, so you shouldn't actually feel that voice when you practice. Like that voice is just probably that voice. This, like if you really listen to it, doesn't it really feel like it decides what it is you should be doing? And when you actually look at what it is it wants you to do and what your intuitive wants you to do, you see that, wait, it's telling me to do stuff that I don't even want to do. It tells you to play a certain way. You don't want to play like that. It's not your truth. So when you're expressing yourself, when you're playing, at a live gig by yourself, whatever it may be, then you really, if you don't feel that present feeling of just playing, like literally just playing what comes out, then you're missing out. Like you're missing out on the depths of what music can give you. Okay? Like if you can't dial into that, then you're not dialing into that joy, that feeling that music can give you. Right now you might think that, wow, it's so fun playing, and it's if you feel that, that's great. That's what you're supposed to feel. But sometimes you might think you're feeling that, but then you have that voice inside of your head that's just judging you. You're not. You might have some improvements you can do on that front, like minimizing that judgment you have of yourself. Imagine minimizing that so it's not longer there. Like imagine that freedom when you play, to not have that voice inside your head that keeps judging you every step you take, every note you play. The voice that keeps telling you that guy feels a certain way about your playing, or that voice that keeps telling you different stuff that just aren't really benefiting your life. So you want to free yourself from that voice of judgment. And you want to have, and some people might say, but Armin, that voice makes me better at guitar because it makes me practice more. Maybe that's true, but don't you think there is another way of practicing more, but doing it from a fulfilled perspective? Like doing it from a standpoint of like, I really want this because it nurtures my soul. Like what, if you think two scenarios, one is practicing because you have a voice in your head, which is judging everything you do, or the one that's practicing because it's like, it gives spiritual fulfillment to practice. It gives fulfillment in the present moment to practice. Like who do you think is enjoying life more? Okay? Life is not in the doing, it's literally in the being. So if you can be with yourself when you're practicing, you can be with the phrase you're practicing, you can be with it so presently. Like imagine that feeling instead of being like, yeah, I have to transcribe that in alt because that my teacher told me so. I have to do that, I have to do this, I have to do that. Like who do you think enjoys life more? Because isn't this what we just want? Like you just want to enjoy life, right? But then you have that voice inside of your head that tells you you're not worthy of enjoying life until you got at a certain point, until you've reached that thing, which what I think is there's no reaching. There's no end point. Look at all the famous musicians. Do you think they have good mental health? They're like, most of them don't. Some of them do, and you can really see it in them. Joshua Redman is one of them, I think. You just feel that present feeling when you see him play and when you see him talk. And I think that's the journey you want to take. The present feeling, the present journey, the present path. Being present with what you do, what you practice. Not letting some voice inside your head tell you what to do and what not to do. Because it's been deciding exactly everything for you right now. Like most of the times, right? If your goal is to enjoy life at the fullest, then you got to minimize that voice. And how do you minimize that voice? You start getting aware of the feeling that there is a voice. You know what I'm saying? So you should, every time you get that voice telling you that's not good enough, you just shift that voice into awareness. So you start observing what's happening inside your head. You start observing that there is a voice there that is actually the ego, it's called, and it's there to protect you. In reality, it's there to protect you from basically dying, because it says you can't do that because otherwise you'll die and you get banished from the tribe. So it's like this primal instinct in you that wants to protect you. So it's that same thing where animals keep awake at night because they have to protect themselves from predators. So you have that same voice in your head that's like, don't do that. Don't surrender because you might die. So every time you get that voice in your head, you just start getting aware that it's there. And that's the first step. Just like get that awareness of, oh, wow, there it is. There it is. There's that voice again. You start getting aware of it. And that's the first step, you know, that's the first step in being able to minimize it. And what you realize after is like, you don't want to really push it down. So what I thought was, okay, I got aware of it. So now I want to push it down, like kill it. That's not what we should do either, because that will make it more. That's like, that will make it much. That will make like, you will nurture it, you will water it if you try to like push it away. So what you should do is like be aware and just tell it like, thank you for existing. Hey, like you're telling the ego literally, thank you for being there because I need you to survive. But right now I'm not going to die. Right now I don't need you. So thank you for knocking, but I'm going to close the door, okay? Because you're not benefiting my life. So that's the actionable step you can do when you play, or whatever. Actually, this applies to everything in life. But just because I'm a guitar channel, I will always connect it to playing guitar because that's what we do, right? Most of the time. So being able to see that, being able to hear that voice and be aware of it, that will make you just more aware of the thoughts. I mean, just start being aware of the thoughts that get into your head. Instead of defining yourself with every thought, like you get a thought and then all of a sudden you're like, I feel bad now because I got that thought. But you can go beyond that and you can just get a thought, observe the thought, like literally you just got a thought, so you can just see it like, yeah, I just got that thought. And now you're like freeing yourself because you realize it's just a thought. It's just a thought and you're not going to die. I mean, I'm literally just sitting here like, how could I feel bad right now? There's no reason, because in the present moment, like right now, I'm so safe. There's no reason for me to feel bad. But most of the times, what was my life was literally just, I just gave myself reasons to feel bad all the time. Doesn't matter what I did. Didn't matter, okay? Didn't matter at all. It could be playing guitar. It could be going out for a walk. My brain would just, oh, you know that thing? Yeah, you should feel bad about that. You should feel bad about that. And then once you start getting aware and you're observing, wow, I just got that voice is there, that voice. And you start like minimizing it because you're like almost surrendering to it. You're like, all right, that's there, but I can choose to be present. I can choose to just look at what is, which is just present bliss. It's just being. We're just being, you know? There is nothing to be afraid of, unless you are in the middle of a war zone. But then you wouldn't be even thinking about, you wouldn't even be watching this video because you had other stuff to worry about. But right now, you probably don't have anything to worry about. Right now, you probably have nothing to worry about. Maybe you have something in 2 weeks that's like, oh, worrying you. How about you don't worry about it now, because in 2 weeks, you can give yourself the time, you can give yourself the moment, like in 2 weeks to worry about it. But the more present you'll be in the now, the more you realize There's nothing to worry about because life is just happening to you, and you can just surrender to everything. Surrender to everything. And every time you feel like, oh, that bad shit happened to me, oh, that thing happened to me, I hate it, just see it as practice to becoming more present. Everything is just a test. Every split second of your life is just a test in how present you can be. Okay? If you see it like that, suddenly there aren't many things that can make you feel bad. Suddenly you're just content with what is. And if something's not going your way, you have to ask yourself, why does that give me a feeling of shame or anxiety when there's nothing to worry about actually? In the bigger picture, I'm still here, I'm still safe, I'm still just living. So start getting aware of that voice, I think. And I started gratitude journaling again, which means every morning I write down a page of stuff that I'm grateful for. And it could be anything. It could be like, I'm grateful for the sun. I'm grateful for my bed. I'm grateful for coffee. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my mom. I'm grateful for my mother's food. I'm grateful for that plant. There are so many things you can be grateful for, and just writing them down will just give you a blissful feeling because you're appreciating. You're just overusing almost the feeling of appreciation. And guess what? Yeah, it's a good recipe to feel present. It's a good recipe to feel good, content. So yeah, I think you should do that. Start getting more aware of that voice. Start to do that. The actionable steps are literally start getting aware of that voice. Whenever you get a voice in your head that tells you you're not good enough, that tells the notes you play aren't good enough, that wants you to feel bad for some reason, you just get aware of it and observe it, and kindly tell it that you don't need it. That you'd rather think about better stuff that benefit you. So that's the first thing. The second thing is write 5 things per day that you're grateful for. Start writing 5 things. That's your goal, to write 5 things a day that you're grateful for. And you can up it. Maybe you write 5 things and you're like, wait, I have like 20 more things. Probably that's going to happen because you get in the flow of being grateful. So you just keep write stuff and just see what happens. Okay? I'll be here along the way. I want to help you to reach the point of just being awake with yourself, with playing guitar, because there's another side which is just so much more. There's so much more enjoyment in playing, in being. So if that's something you resonate with, then you're welcome to subscribe. You're welcome to join the community. I actually have a community called Guitarman School, where I teach jazz through seminars 8 times a month. And also I provide you with private lessons 2 times a month. We talk about guitar. We talk about jazz guitar. We get better in a mindful way. We talk about mental health. It's not just about playing guitar. We're just aware of ourselves, which is my truth. So if that resonates with you, you're welcome to join. Other than that, I really hope this video served you in some way, and that I'll see you in the next video. So take care of yourself. Guitarman out. See you later.